History taught you one name from the Crimean War. Florence Nightingale. But history forgot to tell you about another nurse. A black woman. Who crossed an ocean. Built her own hospital. Ran toward bullets instead of away from them. Saved countless soldiers. Then watched history almost erase her completely. Her name was Mother Seacole. And her story deserves to be remembered. Mother Seacole was born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1805. Her father was a Scottish soldier. Her mother was a free Jamaican woman. Mary grew up between two worlds. One shaped by Britain. The other shaped by African and Caribbean traditions. She learned early that life would not be easy. Because of the color of her skin. Because of the world she lived in. But hardship never frightened Mary. It prepared her. Mary's first teacher was her mother. Known as Mrs. Grant. A respected healer who owned a boarding house where sick and wounded British soldiers recovered. Every day Mary watched her mother work. Mixing herbs. Preparing medicines. Cleaning wounds. Comforting frightened patients. Healing was more than a profession. It was a calling. Her mother blended traditional Caribbean and African healing knowledge with European medicine. Mary absorbed everything. Every plant. Every remedy. Every lesson. Long before she ever entered the battlefield, she was already becoming a remarkable nurse. Mary's education did not come from universities. It came from experience. She learned the healing power of Caribbean plants. Medicinal roots. Leaves. Barks. Natural remedies passed down through generations. Knowledge shaped by African traditions. Refined in the Caribbean. Combined with practical medical care. She learned to observe patients carefully. To recognize illness. To treat pain. To act quickly. Her greatest classroom was real life. Every patient made her wiser. Every recovery strengthened her confidence. She was becoming the kind of healer soldiers desperately needed. Mary refused to stay in one place. She traveled throughout the Caribbean. Then to Central America. She spent time in Panama. A dangerous place where disease spread rapidly. Most people feared those outbreaks. Mary walked directly toward them. Every journey expanded her medical knowledge. Every country taught her something new. She treated travelers, workers, families, soldiers. She was building experience no textbook could ever provide. Then came deadly epidemics. Cholera, yellow fever. Diseases that terrified entire communities. People died quickly. Doctors often had few effective treatments. Many were afraid to go near the sick. Mary was different. She stayed. She treated patients day and night. Using careful nursing. Hydration. Warmth. Rest. And the herbal knowledge she had learned throughout her life. Many people credited her with saving lives through her courage, practical skill and tireless care. Word spread. She was becoming known wherever she traveled. Not because she sought fame. Because people trusted her. Then Europe exploded into war. The Crimean War. British soldiers faced not only enemy fire but disease. Poor sanitation. Freezing temperatures. Thousands suffered. Thousands died. Mary watched from afar. She knew she could help. She traveled to Britain. Confident. Hopeful. Ready to serve. But history was about to test her in a different and painful way. Mary applied to join the official nursing teams traveling to Crimea. She applied more than once. She had years of medical experience. She had treated deadly diseases. She had cared for soldiers before. Yet she was rejected. Again and again. No clear official explanation was ever given. Mary herself believed prejudice played a role. Many modern historians agree that racial discrimination likely contributed to her rejection. Imagine that moment. Knowing you have the skills. Knowing lives are at stake. Yet being told you are not wanted. Not because of your ability, but because of how others see you. Many people would have given up. Mary Seacole never did. If no one would take her, she would go anyway. She used her own savings. Borrowed money. Risked everything she owned. She organized the journey herself. No government support. No official position. No guarantee of success. She crossed thousands of miles. Not for fame. Not for money. But because wounded soldiers needed help. Sometimes the greatest courage begins with refusing to accept rejection. When she arrived near Balaclava, she built something extraordinary. The British Hotel. Far more than a hotel. It became a place of comfort. Food. Medicine. Supplies. Rest. Hope. Soldiers came exhausted. Hungry. Wounded. Mary welcomed them. Fed them. Treated them. Encouraged them. To many soldiers it felt like home in the middle of war. But Mary did not stay safely behind her walls. When battles erupted, she rode toward the fighting. Gunfire echoed across the hills. Cannons roared. Smoke covered the battlefield. Most civilians ran away. Mary rode forward. She carried medicines. Bandages. Food. Water. She treated wounded men while shells exploded nearby. She comforted dying soldiers. She ignored danger again and again. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing compassion despite fear. Mary Seacole lived that truth every single day. The soldiers gave her a new name. Mother Seacole. It was not a title. It was love. Respect. Gratitude. To frighten young soldiers far from home, she became family. She listened. Encouraged. Smiled. Cared. Long after wounds healed, many soldiers remembered her kindness more than the battles themselves. That is the mark of a truly great healer. Eventually the war ended. The soldiers went home. The fighting stopped. But Mary faced another battle. Financial ruin. She had spent nearly everything helping others. Without the war, her business collapsed. She returned to Britain almost bankrupt. The woman who had risked her life for soldiers now struggled to survive herself. It was a heartbreaking ending. For a time the world seemed ready to forget her entirely. But the soldiers did not forget. Officers, doctors, friends, and ordinary people came together. They organized the Seacole Fund. Public events were held to raise money. Thousands attended. It was Britain's way of saying thank you. Mary finally received some recognition during her lifetime. But it would not last. As the years passed, one name came to define Crimean nursing. Florence Nightingale. Her achievements deserved recognition. She transformed nursing forever. But as her fame grew, Mary Seacole's story faded. History often has room for only one hero. And too often the contributions of Black pioneers were overlooked. Many historians point to racial prejudice as one factor that helped push Mary Seacole out of public memory. For generations, millions learned one story. Very few learned the other. But forgotten stories have a way of returning. Researchers uncovered Mary's autobiography. Historians re-examined the evidence. Campaigners demanded recognition. Schools began teaching her story. Books were written. Documentaries were filmed. Then came a powerful moment. In 2016, a statue of Mary Seacole was unveiled outside St. Thomas' Hospital in London. The first public statue in the United Kingdom honoring a named Black woman. At last, history began correcting itself. History remembered one nurse. Now it is time to remember another. A woman who crossed oceans, faced rejection, ran toward gunfire, and refused to let prejudice define her future. Mary Seacole. Healer. Businesswoman. Pioneer. Hero. Do you think Mary Seacole deserves to be remembered alongside Florence Nightingale as one of history's greatest nurses? Drop your answer in the comments below. And subscribe to Unveiled History, because the truth is always more powerful than the myth.